What's good, YouTube? I have Blue Eyes White Dragons. It's been so long since I made a video, they turned to stone. Just kidding. Here are my Blue Eyes White Dragons.
The legendary Blue Eyes White Dragon!
And of course, joining those Blue Eyes, we do have the new Blue Eyes Jet Dragons. So these cards are pretty insane. They protect all of your cards from destruction effects, including your True Lights. And they can summon themselves for free anytime a card is destroyed. And then we do have one copy of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon.
Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon!
Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. It's a nice little extender. You could search it through the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So moving on, let's go over to a few other Blue Eyes cards. We have Dictators of D. So this card's pretty nice. You could discard any Blue Eyes White Dragon card, including Jet, to summon a Blue Eyes, including Jet, right? So it's pretty cool. Also, it has a nice lock with Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. You summon it in defense mode, and then if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon Jet, then your opponent has to attack into the Jet, or whatever monster you choose, honestly. But as long as you have a Blue Eyes monster on the field, that effect is live. And it also makes your Jet live just by its summon alone, which is a cost. Can't be asked, right? We do have a few cards that reflect the Auroradon card combo. So the idea is the Despot 3 is a one-card Hulk Fibrax that searches out your Despot 1. And then the Hulk will get you another Despot 1. So sometimes you could go into a double Despot 1 combo. But we do also have the Psi-Frame Gear Reflector. Psi-Reflector could search out your Assault Beast, and you could discard the Assault Beast to add Assault Mode Activate, and then essentially summon the Assault Beast for free. So that is also another Hulk Fibrax because this is a tuner. But yeah, you could search this through Emergency Teleport without even requiring a normal summon. It could also combo well later on that turn if you draw an E-Telly. If you use the Despot, you could summon another Interruption, so it just works really well in the deck. And moving on, we do have one copy of Creation Resonator. So this card is searchable through Cupid Pitch, but it's a level 600 defense monster, and if you control a level 8 or higher synchro, it doesn't have to be a dragon, you could special summon it. And we do have two copies of Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. So just like the Despot 1, the idea is I don't want to draw one of these or one of the Despot 1s, and then I can't play my combo, right? So I'm using two copies. If I draw one, there's still one more in the deck. Also, you could summon this and use it with Hulk Fibrax to go into Auroradon and then go for the other one. So yeah, it works pretty well at 2. And then moving on to spells, we have 3 copies of the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So this card can search out your Blue Eyes White Dragon, your Alternative, or your Jet. I like searching out 2 copies of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon just because they combo well with each other. But I like to wait until I get another Blue Eyes so my Jet becomes live, right? You could also search out your Alternative for a extender. And then we do have 1 copy of 1-for-1 and 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. So these cards are also 1 card Hulk Fibrax. This is a 1.5, right? You have to discard a monster, but usually you could discard like a Blue Eyes or sometimes even the Assault Beast if you get really cloggy hands. You could discard your Assault Beast, and it's in the graveyard, so now it's ready to be used with your Psi-Reflector for free, right? So that's one way you could discard it. Also, with the Melody of Awakening Dragon is another, or using its own effect. And we do have a few more spells, 3 copies of Dark Ruin or more. This will help you play through any board, almost. And then we have 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, similarly against back row. Most decks have back row nowadays. And we also have 1 copy of Called by the Grave. So Called by the Grave is pretty cool. It could help you play through most of your opponent's hand traps. And moving on to traps, we do have 3 copies of the new True Light. So this card is pretty crazy with Blue Eyes. It turns into a non-targetable creature of destruction. Yeah, your opponent cannot really get over that. It's good against Sky Striker, good against a lot of things, right? Your Blue Eyes Jet Dragon will protect this card as well. And if you have 2 Jets, they protect each other. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And of course, we have the newly unlimited skill drains. So I had a Beast King Barbaros deck way back in the day, so I've always loved this card. But this card is insane with Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is the strongest normal monster in the game, and it turns everything into normal monsters, so you're going to have the strongest monster in the field. And it's cool, right? It's Blue Eyes. We also have one copy of Assault Mode Activate. So this card is mandatory, but like Assault Beast, you could still play if you happen to draw it. You don't want to see it in your opening hand, of course, but there's always ways you could play around it. And using the extra deck, we do have one copy of Resonator Fleer. It's required, of course, but it is kind of pricey, unfortunately. It does activate Jet's effect. Whenever you negate a card, it'll destroy that card. And also, you could destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field as an ignition effect. So both of those will summon out your Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. We also have one copy of Herald of the Arclight. So all of your combos want to end on these two monsters. But Herald of the Arclight is a one-sided floodgate, pretty much. Once you end your board, you're not going to really use cards from your deck or your hand going to the graveyard. So they're not going to get banished. Only your opponents. So only cards from the field to the graveyard don't get banished. But you just sit on this and basically laugh, right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's an Omni Negate as well. And if you do the standard combo, you actually could go into Borload Savage Dragon first, and that's another Omni Negate. It could become 3750 by attaching Halqifibrax to it. But if you're going for the double deskbot play, there's a chance you might not see it. So instead, you might have other opportunities, some other interruptions like Ravenous Croco Dragon. Archithus, so this card gets you a free draw. It's also an interruption. You could discard 2 cards from your hand to destroy a card, and that'll trigger off your Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. And we do have one copy of Cupid Pitch. So shoutouts to Lord Trent for his combo with the Cupid Pitch, as well as the Creation Resonator. This will search out your Creation Resonator for free. And then this is a tuner as well, so you could turn this into level 5 to go into your copy of Borload Savage Dragon. Or if you're going for the deskbot play, you could turn it to level 3 to go into your copy of Resonator Fleer with a level 7 Coltwing, right? And it'll search out a level 3 monster from your deck. And then we also have 2 copies of Older Entity Cthulhu. So this card is pretty cool. Whenever you go into your double despot play, you're gonna start your Auroradon play with 3 tokens and 2 despots, right? So you turn 4 of those monsters into 2 of these, and then you overlay them for your copy of Number Dugaris the Timeless. And with Dugaris, you're going to be drawing 2 cards and discarding 1. And with Older Entity Cthulhu's, you're going to be drawing 2 more cards, right? So that's a 4-card draw from your deck. You could dig into your skill drains and a lot of other powerful cards. And then we do have a couple more Exceeds. So we have 1 copy of Dingirsu, the Orchist of the Evening Star. So this card will protect your True Light. It's also can get over Dragoon, whereas Jet does target. So it's just nice to have it. Could get over a lot of spells and traps too, so don't forget about that. It doesn't target. And there's also Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. So this card is really good in Blue Eyes because you always want to have your True Lights be live or your Jet Dragons be live. So you could attach a material from the Felgrand and just make it so you have access to those Blue Eyes when you need to. On your turn, on your opponent's turn, whenever, right? So it's a very versatile card, pretty much. And it's also an interruption. We do have 2 copies of Kriston Halqifibrax, as well as 2 copies of Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. So the idea with running 2 of each is if you're playing against a deck that uses Solemn, you don't want your plays to just be dead. At least next turn you could try and go for it again. But also, the effect to not link anymore is only used when you summon 3 tokens. So on your following turn, you could bring out one of these and then go into an Access Kotalker just by not using the effect to summon tokens, right? But yeah, it's pretty cool to have that option as well. Feel free to cut 1 and 1 if you want for like maybe Blue Eye Spirit and Azure Eyes, or Link Karibo, or the Numeron package. And then we do have 3 copies of Token Collector. So this card is pretty insane, this format. You're playing as Adventurer token, you just summon this. Suddenly their whole engine became dead, right? Or you're playing against my deck, same thing, right? This card is very powerful. It has a really looming presence throughout the game, so feel free to use it. And then we do have 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode. So Sphere Mode is pretty cool in the deck because you don't have to use your normal summon if you draw your Emergency Teleport or your Dictator of D or your alternative. You have a lot of special summons, so you could actually just tribute over your opponent's board with the Sphere Mode. And we do have 2 copies of Artifact Lancia. So this card is good against Virtual World or PK or whatever, really. You can just shotgun it out, and unlike Nibiru, it pretty much can't be stopped. And then we also have, against back row, we have 3 copies of Evenly Matched. So it's pretty slow, but you could get over your opponent's back row. If you're playing against a slow deck, probably not going to lose anyways, right? So you don't really need that battle phase. Just get rid of their Solemn Strikes and all that other good stuff. We do have 1 copy of Red Reboot if you do want to win that turn. And then a couple more cards. You could actually main deck these if you want. Ghost Ogre with Snow Rabbit could be special summoned with Emergency Teleport. And you could send it from your field to the graveyard, so it could get over your Herald of the Arclight, as well as get rid of spells and traps that are continuous. So yeah, you just got to be careful the way it's used. You can only respond with its effect the moment that card is activated, or the effect is activated, right? But it is a tuner. And we do have 1 copy of the Ultimate Creature of Destruction, so this card's pretty cool. It'll protect your blue eyes even stronger if your opponent's going to try and run over your jet. Like, let's say if they baited the negate effect, or if they have Dragoon, you just summon this, or activate this, and your monster would be protected. But the moment you summon another blue eyes, this card comes back, right? Dragoon doesn't come back. Alright, so anyways, that's it for the profile. We'll go ahead and do a few combos using the all-powerful Blue Eyes White Dragons.
You're setting yourself up for a fall! Huh? Ugh, it's time to duel! I just need to play a single card to teach you a lesson you won't forget.
Alright, this will be the simpler 1-card combo with Emergency Teleport. So first you just activate Emergency Teleport, and it'll go ahead and search out a copy of Psi-Reflector. When Psi-Reflector is special summoned or normal summoned, you get to add an Assault Mode Activate, or a card that lists it. So we're going to go ahead and add the Assault Beast from our deck to our hand. And we'll go ahead and discard the Assault Beast in order to add the Assault Mode Activate. And now, because we have Assault Mode Activate, we can go ahead and special summon the Assault Beast from our graveyard. As long as you have this card in your hand, you could get your Assault Beast back for free. So that's why I like to keep the Assault Mode activated in our hand for next turn, potentially. Doing another Psi-Reflector play, because we have another one in the deck, right? So now you're going to go ahead and link these 2 into a Kriston Halqifibrax. Because that was a special summon, sometimes you could do a few more normal summons before you do this. Like go into a Croco Dragon, draw a card, and then go into Halqifibrax if you have another tuner. Anyways, Kriston Halqifibrax will go ahead and search Despot 001. And now, because you have 2 machines, you go ahead and link those 2 off into a Mecha Phantom Beast Aurora Dragon. And add 3 tokens to your side of the field. So I have my Blue Eyes dice, right? And now, because we summoned 2 or more machines, we can special summon a Despot 001. So I'll go ahead and put that one right there. And we'll go ahead and use this tuner plus 1 of these for a level 4. And we're going to go for a Cupid Pitch. Now, it's important that you think about how you're going to use your Auroradon. You have to tribute 2 monsters in order to special summon the Coltwing, right? So instead of going immediately to another Synchro, go ahead and summon the Coltwing by tributing 2. Now, when Cupid Pitch is summoned, you have to change its level. So, because it's a regular combo, I'm going to change it to level 5. And we're going to go ahead and tribute 2 tokens to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. And when Coltwing is summoned, we get 2 more tokens. And that'll also trigger off our Despot 001. This is level 5. This is level 10. But these are level 3. So you can go ahead and Synchro summon using these for your copy of Warlord Savage Dragon. Where is it? Right. We'll put that underneath Auroradon, that's fine. And Savage will activate as well as Cupid Pitch. So because this could be ashed, you want to have this as Chainlink 1, Savage Chainlink 2, and that's going to go ahead and equip Kriston Halqifibrax to the Borreload Savage. Cupid Pitch will go ahead and search out your creation Resonator. Now, because you control a level 8 or higher Synchro, you could special summon this from your hand. And now you have a level 7 Coltwing and a level 3 creation Resonator because you have one token. We'll go ahead and Synchro summon into Baronet de Fleur. And these two are going to become your level 4 Herald of the Arclight. But right now you want to check your hand because you might have Melody of Awakening Dragon, you might have King of D or Dictator of D, 1-for-1 or Emergency Teleport. It depends, right? So I would say just make sure that you want to send all your cards from your hand to the graveyard that you can, and then go ahead and Synchro summon your Herald of the Arclight. And now your opponent can't send any cards from their hand or deck to the graveyard, any monsters, right? So they can't use a Forbidden Droplets on you by using monsters. So you're going to have to use Spell and Traps, and if they do that, then you can respond with one of these 3 on the negate. So that's a pretty cool thing. Plus, everything is going to be banished, all their monsters, so that hurts a lot of decks. And this didn't require your normal summon either. So you could still make all your other Blue Eyes plays, but it's pretty standard from one card, you know. But let's go ahead and go into another combo.
Your underhanded dueling tactics have gone on long enough. It's time someone put a stop to your cheating ways. I've put all my faith in this next card. So now let it be revealed! Yes, the Blue Eyes White Dragon!
Incredible! That's gotta be the luckiest draw I've ever seen.
Okay, so this combo is going to be 1 copy of Despot 003. So you just normal summon the Despot 003, and it's going to go ahead and summon a Despot 001 from your deck. If this gets ashed, it's okay, because if you have an emergency teleport, you could still make a Halqifibrax, right? But go ahead and link those 2 off for a Kriston Halqifibrax, and that is going to go ahead and summon a token or another Despot from your deck. And then you're going to go ahead and link these 2 off. So we're going to go ahead and go for Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. And then that'll summon 3 tokens. And that, of course, will go ahead and trigger your 2 Despots as well. And now your monster zones are filled, so I guess your opponent couldn't beat you, right? But let's go ahead and use the 1 and the token. I'll put that right there. For a copy of Old Entity Cthulhu, right? And we'll do the same for another copy. And now we're going to go ahead and overlay these 2 for a copy of number 60 Dugar is a Timeless. So immediately when you exceed summon, Old Entity Cthulhu's effect will activate. It says an Exceed monster that was summoned using this card on the field as Exceed material gains this effect. If it is Exceed summoned, draw 1 card. Right? So you're going to be activating both of these to draw 2 cards. And we'll just say those are 2 cards. And then you're going to go ahead and activate Dugar's effect, detach both of them in order to draw 2 more cards and then get rid of 1, right? And now you have 2 monsters left, so you're going to go ahead and tribute these both. And this is a graveyard. For your copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. Coltwing's effect will activate, giving you 2 more tokens, and that will, of course, trigger off those 2 Despots again. So we're definitely abusing the hell out of these Despots, right? So now you have 2 tuners and 3 non-tuners. So you're going to use one of these death spots plus one of your tokens to go into a level 4 Cupid pitch. You're going to change its level this time to 3. This is level 7, that's why you want to do that. So using the level 3 and the Mecha Fan of Beast Colt Wing, you can go into Resonator. And then now you're going to activate your Cupid pitch because it was sent to the graveyard. It has synchro material. You can go ahead and search out your copy of Creation Resonator. And now you're going to check your hand again. Before you make that arc light, you want to make sure all your Dictator of D's are out on the field because it's a cost to send the dragons from your deck to the graveyard. You want to make sure your melodies send the Blue Eyes Jets to the graveyard. It's cost to search out more or alternatives. You want to try and make your hand as good as possible, and then go ahead and play your Herald of the Arclight. And usually you have extra cards like an Emergency Teleport right now, which could become a Psi-Reflector to search out your Assault Beast, discard the Assault Beast to add the Activate. You could summon the Assault Beast as well. But if you noticed, that right there, you have to discard it from your hand, right? So that's one of those instances where you gotta make sure that a step back, you would have this, right? So if you had the Emergency Teleport in your hand, you'd have to activate it right now. You activate it right now to go ahead and summon your Assault or your Psi-Reflector, which will go ahead and add the Assault Beast, and then you discard it. And if your zones are still filled for whatever reason, let's say if you have the Dictator of D, that's fine, because now you can go ahead and clear the field with a Herald of the Arclight, and then you can go ahead and activate your Psi-Reflector effect. Right, this is in your hand to special summon the Assault Beast. Change it to level 9 if you want to go into a Croco Dragon, or level 8 if you want to go into a Savage Dragon. You might still have a Dictator of D. And then you go ahead and synchro whichever one you want. I usually try and go for Croco Dragon just to try and draw like a skill drain. And we have so many cards in our hand too, so it's pretty beefy. Put in defense because it gains a lot of defense as well. And if you have a Jet Dragon that's live, like in the graveyard or in your hand, you could just special summon this Creation Resonator and then activate your Resonator Flare, destroy it, and it'll trigger off your Jet Dragon, right? Of course, you don't need to do that because you have 2 ways to destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field. I think 3 actually with this, but regardless, if you want a Jet Dragon on your side of the field before your opponent's turn, you have that option, right? So let's go ahead and do a couple test hands because this particular setup where you draw a bunch of cards, that's the very interesting ones where you get to change your hand, your strategy at the second half of the turn, right? So let's go ahead and do some test hands. All right, so next time we'll go ahead and do a combo video featuring the Blue Eyes. Sorry, it ran a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and split it up. But yeah, stay featured for those crazy combos. All right, everyone. Happy dueling.
Gramps, could you show my friends your awesome super rare card?
Ha ha! I refuse. No. I've heard enough of your nonsense. Senile old fool.
What's good, YouTube? I have Blue Eyes White Dragons coming in high. And we're going to go ahead and tribute 2 tokens to special summon Blue Eyes White Dragons coming in high. Coming in high. And joining those Blue Eyes. Shit, the lighting's on.